This is Cybert signing into General's Evolution, the mod for Red Alert 3 onto Tournament Island. And yes, the title of the video is correct. This is a rematch best of 9 between the Red USA Laser General in the top left. This is Khay, his teammate as the Orange GLA Stealth. This is Chris, against the team on the other side, the Purple USA Laser. This is SpiritualMango, and his teammate is the eminent Blue China ClouD. I almost spoiled the results of the first series. One of these teams is going to take revenge. If you want to see that series, well, the link will be in the description. Although, I will tell you this, really, Game 1 is the only game worth watching, and then you can kind of skip the rest of them. Yeah. All right, so if you haven't clicked away and you care about spoilers, your time is up. Chris and Kay are here for revenge. Both teams prepped for that original Best of 9 series. However, Chris and Kay were definitely not prepping for rushes. They were not preparing to defend against rushes, and they were not preparing to execute rushes. And they felt that last series was not a good representation of their general level of play and their skill, and they wanted a rematch. They wanted a do-over to have a second shot to kind of show what they're worth. And, well, we'll see how it goes. Right now, ClouD putting a bit of pressure on Kay. We saw this happen in a couple of the games last time. The pressure starts, and then it just doesn't stop. Chris already moving a couple of technicals up to the north. He's going to be reinforcing Kay, whose laser defenses have fallen, but the technicals are here to bust open these tank hunters and to stop them from breaking open the front door. The first GAT has already been defeated. The second GAT is about to go down, and the defense has held, but at what cost? Almost everything has gone down on both sides. Chris and Kay definitely do not have enough to break that bunker, break that laser defense. Meanwhile, on the south side of the map, SpiritualMango is going to be moving in. He's got a stinger sight to contend with. He's got a couple of rangers and a couple of another stinger sight on the north side. There's actually no rocket troopers of any kind. It's just a couple of laser rangers here with the laser crusaders from SpiritualMango. Tank gets eliminated immediately, but already Chris and Kay, they're holding off the pressure a bit better than they were in that first series. Troop Crawler moves forward. Defense is not up in time. Kay managed to grab one of the oil derricks in the middle of the map. He now grabs the second one as well. Already a bit of a difference from that first series, but Chris is not going to have 2 war factories for much longer. In fact, he won't even have 1 war factory. I kind of expected that he would have 2 war factories up to this point, but he does not. Only 1 war factory is about to be online. He's desperately trying to get up a stinger site, 2 stinger sites, in fact, so that he can hold off while his war factory starts producing units. SpiritualMango is about to break open Chris's base, and once Chris falls, Kay shouldn't be far behind him. SpiritualMango has broken in. 1 supply center is about to get destroyed, but no, they're going for the tanks. They're going for the stinger site. Couple of GATs are now out. It is double war factory. Chris did manage to sneak out a second war factory before the first one went down, and he's pumping out quads like his life depends on it, because indeed they do. Triple stinger site in the north, holding off the laser rangers. Meanwhile, way in the north, ClouD pushing in his GATs, going deeper into enemy territory, but he doesn't have the King Raptors to quickly burst down these buildings like he did in the last game. A laser crusader from Kay looking to try and defend. MiG swinging in on the north side. 4 of them grouped together. They're going to be able to take down the power plant. And is it enough to take the forces offline? The answer is no. 1 GAT goes down. The second GAT still chasing around those supply trucks. And the supply stash in the south has actually held. Chris has managed to hold off the forces and almost keep his economy intact. But it's much more intact than it was in those games in the last series. Chris's economy got absolutely destroyed pretty much from the get-go, and he was never able to recover. Right now, his resilience is at a much higher level than it was before. His quad's getting broken down. He pulls out another technical from somewhere, and it's mostly down to the infantry, but as the Warthogs come in, They strafe the ground. They miss the supply truck, and Chris continues to stand strong, but for how much longer? His stinger sights are almost all gone, and he's only got quads against these laser crusaders. Couple of rocket defenders, couple of missile defenders, and laser rangers all here in the army. SpiritualMango hasn't broken the front, but he's getting so close. Cluster mine gets dropped by ClouD in the north. Meanwhile, Gats and Troop Crawler's going to try and crack open the front door. There goes the laser defense, and it's 4 minutes on the clock for SpiritualMango and his particle cannon. His magical particle cannon will crack open any base. The front doors have been broken, and it looks like that is going to be game unless they can somehow pull a defense out of this position. Game 1 is looking a lot like the last series. Chris has been defeated. Khay now gains control of this southern base, and the GG gets called. Unfortunately, game number 1 looks exactly the same as that previous series. But will it be a 5-0, or will Chris and Khay managed to strike back against ClouD in SpiritualMango? And that takes us to Lone Eagle for game number 2. As the minty fresh China infantry, this is Khay. His teammate also playing China infantry, red with rage, ready for revenge. This is Chris. Meanwhile, on the south side, feeling cool as a cucumber, playing that blue USA superweapon, this is ClouD. And rounding it out, the most spiritual of the fruits, this mango is playing GLA. It's SpiritualMango. Big thanks to Zero Below for sponsoring the original show match, which has created this revenge-fueled rematch and given us more Gen Evo. This is, we've seen FFAs, 3v3s, 2v2s, 1v1s, all of that kind of stuff. But I've never seen an extended series in 2v2, and we got to see the first time around maps that I have never seen before in 2v2. I've seen this map before in 2v2. I've seen Tournament Island and 2v2 and FFA. But there were some other maps, Canyon City and some of those other ones, that I just haven't seen yet. And so it's cool to be able to see that, and that is big thanks to Zero Below. By the way, big thanks to the other folks who support the channel over on Patreon, such as K-Row, Jesse, Nikola Tesla, I guess back from the dead, JhinWick, Liliar, Breathofire, and Shan Rocks. Big thanks to all the folks who support the channel. Always appreciated, never obligated. A couple of technicals here for SpiritualMango, a couple of RPG troopers as well, going to be able to hold off those attacks. Khay managing to get a tank on the other side of the map. Kind of interesting. We got 2 China infantry players, and I was wondering, is that going to factor into this game? Well, ClouD under a bit of threat. This is the first time ClouD has perhaps taken worker damage, supply truck damage in the entire 2 series. It may not be exactly true, but it certainly feels like it's true. Minigunners are pretty darn good at taking out those low health units. I think the sentry guns are pretty good. Sentry drones, excuse me, are pretty good versus the minigunners. But the minigunners will buy a lot of time, and Chris does have a second assault troop transport going to be moving through the middle of the map. Canceled building here, the debris of which Chris will drive through. And actually, this troop crawler is going to eat those sentry drones alive. 3 sentry drones gone in a flash, in an instant. And if the minigunners can close the distance, apparently they just absolutely shred these sentry drones. Best be on your marks, because ClouD is getting wrecked. He is getting ripped right through by the guns of these minigunners. A couple of them going heroic. They're double vet already. An additional assault troop crawler going to be moving in. And I mean, hey, this is the fun of playing with mass minigun, is that you get to do that kind of stuff. A fresh one going to be joining from the K side of the map. No big plays from our team in the south. They are on pure defense this time. Guardian tank moving forward. Guardian cannon not so present in this game, as another assault troop crawler is going to be moving forward onto the front line. Chris starting to call the attack off. He's worried that the tank numbers might be a little too much, but this is by far the best opening that our team in the north, Chris and Kay, have had. They got their oil derricks nice and early. They got their expansions up and running. They split the oil derricks, whereas ClouD took both of the oil derricks in the south. But the tide has turned. And we saw this happen multiple times before. There is definitely a strong defender's advantage in Gen Evo, but ClouD and SpiritualMango have in 6 games been able to overwhelm that considerably. A couple of Scorpion tanks going to be making their way through, but this is most of the army for SpiritualMango. He has a second army way back in his house, but it's not crossing the map. It is nowhere near reinforcing his first army. And actually, it's going to be dealing with these minigunners in this assault troop transport. It does get cleaned up. The Guardian tank is now going to get eliminated. Mass minigunner bringing down the pain. And, well, these everything else is going to be able to clean up the minigunners. But actually, they trade out against a quad. They took down a quad in that engagement. And Kay, little K-Bear, Minty Fresh, he has secured his own base. He is happy and healthy and ready to go. Propaganda Center is up, but these Inferno Cannons are actually going to be forcing these sentry drones to move away. Migs as well, going to be going for the kill on the front sentry gun. No, doesn't even get it. And somehow, oh my gosh, how did he even get the kill on that? Those sentry guns, the like slowest, laziest little sentry drones, walking their way around the map and get a kill on a Propaganda Center. That is not what I expected. Trying to block off these sentry drones from escaping. ClouD just causing havoc amongst his enemy's base, but ClouD has been significantly beaten back. He has had to rebuild over here. His economy is kind of offline. I don't know what SpiritualMango's trucks are doing here. It looks like they're kind of blocking ClouD off. This might be a bit of a problem where ClouD doesn't realize how bad his mining is. Oh, ClouD has got nothing. This truck is just glitched out. SpiritualMango is totally screwing over his friend, and he doesn't even realize it because those trucks are not harvesting at all. No one is doing any work in the bottom, and ClouD is over here, like, got no income. He's sold off all of his buildings trying to get out units just to be able to play the game, and he's like, why can't I build anything? It's because his trucks aren't even working. Mass Scorpion going to be able to clean up the MiGs on the deck. One of them goes down. The other 3 manage to escape, but they're all out of rockets. The Scorpions trade out their lives. 5, 6, 7 Scorpions going down. Only 2 remain. Only 1 remains, it seems, as these 2 are very low health between the 2 of them. And that is going to be it. The sentries get cleaned up. Chris and Kay have turned it around, and they have an actual chance to take this game. They brought the pain. They brought it early. Those aggressive attacks right out the door, those assault troop transports crossing the map and going for the harass have actually bought them so much time. The supply trucks have now been figured out. SpiritualMango has now finally figured out what his goal in life, which is to not block his teammate. But this is so many tanks moving out from Chris and Kay. They have actually got a real shot to take this game. Quads and Scorps in the south. Artillery fired off somewhere. Landing here on the firebase. Almost takes down the firebase. Catches a couple of the sentry drones as well. And that's going to be a low-power Patriot EMP missile. But it is not enough. You may have gone big with those super weapons in game number 1. But you are getting taken to task here by these taskmasters of Kay, and he is burning down the front door. Once again, ClouD unable to get his economy online. The firebase barely surviving, but there it finally goes down to the fires of the Inferno Cannons, and Kay has not broken open the front door. Indeed, he has sounded the retreat, but his bunker back home holding off the Scorpions. It's going to eat 2-3 Scorpions for breakfast before they even make it in the main base, and ClouD is about to fall. ClouD getting dunked on here by Chris. Get out of the game. You have no place here in game number 2 of the rematch. Revenge will be found, but it is not complete. Quads show up. 2 of them get eaten by the firestorm. The first one gets eaten by the missiles. The third or the fourth does escape. And these minigunners are going to try and clean up however many of these toxin tanks they can. Those toxin shells on the Scorpion doing some good work to help clean up the infantry. But that won't be enough because ClouD's main base has fallen. The reinforcements from SpiritualMango, they go over to ClouD's base, but there's the fire sale from ClouD, and ClouD has been defeated. SpiritualMango trying to defend his teammate, but he left his own front door wide open, and through it bursts Khay, coming right down the neck. Migs in support. The GG gets called. And that's a win for Chris and Khay. It will not be decided by a 5-0. Not the second time. Chris and Khay show their worth in game number 2 and send us into game number 3. And that sends us back to Canyon City for game number 3 in the north. Is the green GLA Toxin. This is Khay. He's representing Dr. Thrax. And as the red Vanilla China, this is Chris. Meanwhile, in the south, playing as the blue Vanilla China, this is ClouD. Feeling a bit awkward after game number 2. And rounding it out is the purple Vanilla GLA. This is SpiritualMango. 1-1 on the scoreboard feels a whole lot better than the whole last series. These guys, Chris and Khay, they got jumped on with those rushes. They were not ready for them. And even as they started adapting throughout the course of the series, Khay doing his like double bunker Gatling thing, it was always one of those things where like ClouD and SpiritualMango would just hit Chris. They would realize, oh, Chris doesn't have as much static D right at the front, so we'll just attack Chris. And then they just double team Chris. Khay can't get over there in time, and that was basically 4 games in a row. And now, well, things are looking a little bit more even. Right from the beginning, Chris right into the middle of the map. He's got a couple of these buildings, so he's got an idea of what there is in the middle of the map heading his way. A couple of oil derricks in the corner have been claimed. Observation post was also claimed by Khay. And, well, Khay tried to grab the oil derricks in the corner, but he's not quite going to be able to. I love the inclusion of all of these infantry in the buildings, even just as an early warning system. And these 2 dragon tanks going to be passing each other. Look at this, Chris literally just trying to buy time. Every second counts sometimes. And if he buys an extra couple of seconds to get himself out of Battle Master before this tank actually gets to his base, that could be a building that survives. And the dragon tank for ClouD shows up. It fires its first burst at the tank and the second burst at the barracks, which will survive. And in this case, that is about as good as Chris could have asked. At the same time, ClouD is going to realize, actually no, both GATs go down to the dragon tank. The third tank GAT will get the kill on the dragon, but that is as good of an opening as Chris could have asked for. Both guys opening with a dragon tank rush, and both guys defeating the other one's dragon tank, but I think Chris definitely getting the better of that exchange. RPG troopers here from SpiritualMango. ClouD has taken that building near the middle of the map. He's got a couple of MiGs as well. He's already got Black Napalm. He's already got the upgrade for the MiGs, which is a bit surprising. That seems very quick to be able to get that. SpiritualMango, he is not interested in macroing up some big army and going for a mid-game push. He wants to get in his enemy's face once again. The bunker on the high ground is difficult to defeat. Chris has added on the Gatling cannon just to beef up these stinger sites. And there's the scan going to be coming in. The MiGs will help break that Civ structure. And those were once again ClouD's MiGs. He is the king of the Air Force, that one. And he's got that Black Napalm upgrade, so he burns down everything just a little bit more quickly. Stinger Sight's going to help Khay hold strong. Chris with that added defense means that this is really a funnel for SpiritualMango to go through. The bunker gets added on. Chris trying to get out some additional defenses, some additional tank hunters here to help hold the line. The first barracks goes down. The first bunker has nothing inside of it, and the second bunker has only a single unit inside of it, trying to body block with another Gatling cannon, but it is not going to work. SpiritualMango has broken open Khay's front door. MiGs on another strike. Giant firestorm on top of Chris's entire army. Things started well for Chris. How they started is not how they are going, as Chris's entire army gets eaten up by basically one firestorm. A couple of MiGs there completely opening up that attack and just destroying Chris. Command center is targeted down. This is way too much firepower. SpiritualMango, he did not rush to this, but this was quite an early game attack, and he is just not stopping. Constant production crossing the map, a parade push that will never end as long as he's got a foothold inside of Khay's base, and Khay has no way to stop this. They were really close to being able to hold this off. I love the inclusion of the Gatling cannon just to keep things focused in this corridor here, but it did not end up working out. Chris has been defeated. Khay will not be much longer for the world, and GG gets called. Chris and Khay take another L. ClouD and SpiritualMango in pretty complete control of that game. The opening was great for Chris, but after that, SpiritualMango just got a hold of it and went crazy, and that was the end of Khay. Really close. If Chris had those bunkers up, I don't know, 30 seconds earlier, it's a different game, but he didn't. And the third game goes to the victors. ClouD and SpiritualMango increase their lead back 2-1 in game number 3. Let's see where game number 4 takes us. And that takes us to Fallen Empire once again. This map pool is looking very familiar, but, other than Lone Eagle, I'm glad to see all of these maps an additional time. These cliffs look great. There's even some little tents here, some lovely trees on the high ground, but let's get into it. As the green GLA demo, this is Khay. And as the red GLA toxin, this is Chris. Not feeling too great after that Game 3 loss, and just spitting distance down to the south as the blue China infantry, this is ClouD. He's the one we always look to, but in game number 2, he was the first one to buckle. Meanwhile, as a strong, steadfast companion, the purple China, this is SpiritualMango. SpiritualMango is just a really solid player, I feel like, after seeing these two sets of 2v2s. I don't know that I've seen him play in a lot of 1v1s, but he seems just like a really strong standard player. Really solid macro, good decision-making. Overall, just a great teammate to have, and I'm hoping that we get to see him in some 1v1s sometime in the future. ClouD's economy completely disrupted. No oil derricks to make up for the disruption in the economy. These technicals are just, well, they get a free kill basically right there. The Taskmaster coming in to try and clean up these technicals, but not before the technicals get at least one more supply truck kill. And again, this has completely shut down the eco of ClouD, so much so that he even sells off that supply center. If he loses this second supply truck, or this third supply truck, he's going to be completely out of cash. He does have an expansion here, so even if his main base is attacked again, he may be able to get an expansion up at some point to try and spread out his supply trucks a little bit more. He did go for the low ground expansion instead of the high ground expansion. SpiritualMango moving in with a couple of gats. He has got the defense ready, and he's like, hey, buddy, don't you even worry about it. I'm going to defend you. I'm going to keep you alive. And, well, Chris opening up with that aggression buys himself a lot of time, buys himself a lot of breathing room. Well, one Taskmaster is going to cross the map, but really, what is one Taskmaster going to do against a double War Factory GLA player? Palace getting added on. Chris is just already progressing right up the tech tree. These supply trucks completely undefended. The bunkers at the front are a nice touch, but when the technicals get in there, they are completely shutting down the eco now of SpiritualMango. His expansion isn't up, so his eco is also dead. Bunker at the front door. It's going to be able to eat up at least one of these Scorpion tanks. Done. Nice and easy. Second Scorpion tank done as well, and third Scorpion tank before the bunker falls. couple of these guys have gone heroic. The technicals come back in for some sweet, sweet revenge, going for those supply trucks once again. Chris tearing ClouD apart. The early game aggression sets the pace of the match and seems to give you such an advantage in these 2v2s. These maps are quite small, so that early game aggression happens extremely quickly, and a single War Factory, single airfield China player is about to be War Factory list. There's the sell-off. ClouD pretty much conceding at this point. He might be trying to build something. Yeah, okay, over here in SpiritualMango's base, it's going to be MiGs and a 1v2, basically, because SpiritualMango is going to have to hold off against Chris and Khay. On the minimap, we see Khay moving forward, those fresh dots into the middle of the map, and the command center is going to be the next thing to fall. Infantry going to be trading out against the bunker. Great choice here by Khay. That is the exact right thing to do. Let the infantry take the brunt of that fire and save your tanks for the tank fight, or try and burst down the second bunker. But no, Khay actually backs off. He's going to give away one Scorpion tank. He's trying to draw the fire of those rockets, but this is lights out for ClouD. He never even got up that airfield in the south. It is truly a 1v2 as ClouD exits the game. SpiritualMango is feeling confident. Why is he still in this game? We'll see what he does. Maybe he does have some kind of an amazing play. I don't know, maybe if he had like Black Napalm and 8 MiGs, then he could silence most of this army coming in from the east, and then he would just have to deal with Khay one-on-one. But like, I don't know, how long can you hold off in a 1v2 when Chris can easily take the old main base of ClouD? These guys very well may just be typing to each other in the chat. They may be saying, you know, like, well done, good game kind of stuff. After, you know, the first series, which went 5-0, the second series going 2-2 is a pretty good turnaround for Chris and Khay. And yeah, SpiritualMango just buckles under the pressure. I'm genuinely not sure why he hasn't left the game. He finishes up our propaganda center, which is funny because, of course, he's about to have no actual production facilities to be able to produce anything with the propaganda center. I mean, he teched up, but what good is the tech when you've got nothing to build with it? War Factory is going to be the next thing that falls. One Inferno Cannon. Not quite. It died almost as soon as I clicked on it. It was just immediately gone from the game, and I guess making them earn it? I don't know. This is just weird that he's still even in this game, and that is the GG. SpiritualMango has been defeated. ClouD and Spiritu take the L in game number 4 on Fallen Empire. 6 minutes seems to be the game time here, and most of these games are falling right around that 6-minute mark, which I guess, you know, when it's a best of 9 and you're guaranteed 5 games, that, you know, that kind of puts it at a nice tidy 30 minutes. But this is actually going back and forth. So we have a series on our hands, and let's see who takes the lead in game number 5. Which takes us to the map Homeland Alliance for game number 5. These maps pretty much just being a 1-to-1 repeat of the first series. But of course, the spawns and the factions have been different. As the red GLA stealth, this is Chris, here to take his revenge and looking pretty good at it. His teammate as the green GLA Toxin. That's right, it's another double GLA team. This is Khay. On the other side of the map, playing as the purple Super Weapon General USA, this is SpiritualMango. And as the blue China Nuke, this is ClouD. One of those FFA-styled maps, but it's got a cool building, or a cool building in the center, city in the center, a bunch of cool buildings in the center, and then a number of land bridges. So non-destructible land bridges always sort of make sure that there's a couple of paths in and out of every base. There's sort of 3 pretty wide openings that lead into and out of every base. And, you know, you got your 2 little expansions in there, and then a safe expansion between you and your friend, and a couple of oil derricks in the middle of the map, which Khay has already taken his. SpiritualMango has already taken his. Humvee hunts down that technical, or whatever that was, gets the kill there very nicely. And the middle of the map starts getting divided up. This one definitely feels like a little bit of a longer rush distance between the bases. Some of these bases have been very, and this is a China nuke, so yep. Some of these maps definitely have extremely short rush distances between the bases, and we've seen that definitely impact how some of these guys play the game, but also it just impacts, if you are not 100% ready for the rush, you have no time to even think, because it hits your base at like 45 seconds into the game. It is so unbelievably quick that some of these rushes cross those smaller maps. Now, China Nuke does, of course, have these stabilizing isotopes upgrade. It has been a focus of many of these games because many players don't quite know that. And indeed, I didn't even realize how powerful the nuclear battle masters are before you get that upgrade. And if you get that upgrade, they no longer do friendly fire when they die. But that is a propaganda center upgrade. So it is mid to late game. First nuclear battlemaster going forward, it will get eaten up by that bunker. Nice and safe distance away from anything. Well handled so far by Chris and Khay. They are both deflecting and dealing with any aggression that is headed their way. Indeed, Khay now going to be moving out with a couple of technicals. He hasn't really been able to cross the map and do too much just yet. There's no disruption to ClouD's economy like we saw in some of those other matches, but instead it's just a nice, normal opening for everyone. We may even get to the late game before the game is over. Who even knows? Anything is possible here in General's Evolution. Stealth rebels moving their way around the map, trying to clear out some of those buildings. And the Manticore APC, one of the new units from General's Evolution. And, well, it's going to be going up against the Dragon Tank in the middle of the map. Dragon Tank going to be getting jumped on and will actually survive the engagement here. Nuclear Battlemaster rushes forward, not close enough to actually kill off some of Chris's units, but the second and the third may indeed be close enough to kill off a lot of Chris's units. He's going to lose quite a few tanks, but no, he gets just far enough away. Nicely done there, and it does kind of freeze you in position. You have to avoid that secondary explosion. Just wait for the bomb to count down and then get out of the area. Chris and Khay already looking phenomenal compared to the other matches, the matches that they've lost at least, and the whole other series. They are actually pretty well set up here. And right from the beginning, ClouD has not been winning these tank-to-tank fights. He's going to be having a much better time with this ECM and this Nuclear Overlord, but he still doesn't have the sheer numbers to deal. Oh my gosh, that ECM being pulled to the forefront to deny the rockets from these Manticores was perfect. That was great execution by ClouD, but there is more and more Manticores joining the fight, and these Nuclear Overlords don't quite have enough health, but the bunker is going to stop Chris from pushing any further forward. Rocket buggies, almost for the first time in this series, we are seeing rocket buggies come to the forefront. The Palace is out for Chris as well, so maybe he will be going with some rocket buggies, although maybe, does GLA Stealth not get rocket buggies? Do they get the Katusha or whatever that is? Maybe that's what it is. It's just double War Factory for Chris. He's not going too crazy with like a triple or quad War Factory setup, which some people do manage to pull off. Repair Zone gets called in. Cluster Bomb is going to kind of push these tanks back. Artillery also finds a couple of trucks. At least one truck there damages the supply center as well. Middle of the map is getting divvied up. People taking buildings and trying to clear out the buildings of their opponents. MiGs getting added on, and this is where ClouD can actually hit his stride and start moving out onto the map to do some damage. These MiGs not getting to the Firestorm level just yet. Not enough missiles to get to the Firestorm, but certainly enough to push back these tanks. Cleans up 3 Manticores, basically for free. It's going to be Mass Humvee on the side of SpiritualMango. He's playing USA Super Weapons General, so he may be kind of going for delay tactics. Whoa, Scud launchers in the mix. Hello. Something we have not seen for a little while. And those are Toxin Scud launchers as well, so they got that purple Anthrax on the ground as they explode. Going to be chasing away these nuclear overlords, and it's a little bit of hit and run as well. These rocket buggies right on the edge, just back and forth, get them in range and then retreat away. This is definitely the slowest paced of all of the matches we have seen, which just means that it's going beyond the 6-minute mark, and yet still there's been consistent action throughout from all 4 of these players. SpiritualMango might be sitting back a little bit, but every single Scud except one explodes as a precision MiG strike comes in and cleans up those Scuds. Those ECMs are so crazy effective. Those rocket buggies doing literally nothing, deflecting into one Overlord. The other 2 Overlords do manage to escape. Oh, the splash damage there. The friendly fire as the rocket buggies get cleaned up by their Scud friends. MiG's coming back in for another pass. Going to be able to clean up a couple of rocket buggies, clean up the Scuds as well. And the Manticore is going to be going for the surround and the kill on the nuclear Overlords. It is Ants on a something as the Ants win with sheer numbers. They overwhelm, they swarm, and they control the game through pure numbers. Nuclear cannon in the middle of the bases in the North Cloud, trying to cut off that attack path. Aurora Bomber does clean up a chunk of the Manticores, but not enough to stop Chris. The defenses are a little slow, so it's going to be up to the MiGs to help clean up these tanks, and Chris has had enough of a beating. He's going to be getting pulled back. And one Manticore may die right on the edge of the range there. Stinger site has been established in the south. SpiritualMango trying to find some kind of a foothold outside of his own game or base, as he's looking to expand into the middle of the map, but being denied by Khay. Fuel air bomb, nice stop command by Khay. He didn't reverse move away from it, but he did get the stop command to minimize the damage. Triple Patriot EMPs at the front, saving ClouD. SpiritualMango is just like the ultimate good guy. He just drops triple defenses at your front door to be able to hold off your opponents. And it's actually going to be ClouD who gets the first super weapon. Not even the guy playing the USA Super Weapons General. As the bombers come in. Big cleanup there. The Aurora is going to be able to eliminate that supply center. 3 quads go down to a single bomb. Cleaning up the oil derricks is a nice touch. Oh my gosh. Those nuke MiGs are impressive. They just have so much raw power. The bunker on the high ground going to be helping SpiritualMango hold this position. 3 minutes, 20 seconds on the clock as these Scud launchers find their mark. They get maneuvered into position, and the Auroras are going to be going for the kill on the front line, but they don't hit the Scuds, or at least they don't hit most of the Scuds, which means the artillery is going to continue to shell away. ClouD trying to make some kind of progress. Going to be dropping some mines perhaps on these pathways. Not stopping the army, but slowing it down. This GLA Toxin player will not be stopped as Khay has actually managed to break open the front door despite all the EMP, despite all the base defenses, as these MiGs come in with their nuclear arsenal and lay waste to the army, but it's not enough to stop Khay. He just has more and more forces pushing forward. The attack is definitely slowing, and he does not have as many forces here on the front line as he wished. Base defenses starting to hold things off. Chris moving his entire army cross-map to support this assault. Rocket buggies joining the fray. The losses are heavy on both sides, but if they can break SpiritualMango, they can take the game. They can take the lead in this series for the first time, and those nuke MiGs are just so powerful, but it will not stop the army. The efficiency of SpiritualMango is immense, but it is not enough to stop Khay and Chris crossing the map and ending the game. ClouD is going to have to fight this one out 1v2. He's got a pretty good setup, and SpiritualMango is not out of it just yet. His main base is being laid waste, but ClouD coming in, reinforcements finally showing up, and no, Chris has stopped in the middle of the map. He has halted position, and he is just holding there in the middle. Meanwhile, the Auroras continue to just make run after run after run, thinning out the numbers of Khay continually. And a couple of Overlords finally did get into position. Chris trying to clear out the middle of the map, but is incurring heavy losses. This may not be as cut and dried as I first thought. SpiritualMango has progressed. He has held on, and his base is charred and scarred, but it is still there. ClouD has taken the expansion in between the bases. Nuke cannons holding off the ground. 40 seconds on the nuke, but it is maybe not even needed with how massive that shot was. Rocket buggies close in. They're going to get basically a free kill on that nuke, but it's not going to be enough. Khay reforming in the middle of the map. Massive explosions, cleaning up some of the infantry, some of the tanks, but not all of the tanks. There is definitely a bit of a disconnect between how awesome the nuke MiG looks when it drops a bomb and how much damage it actually does. Looks like a Toxin Rebel Surprise coming in from Khay. He's going to be able to burn down that airfield of SpiritualMango. Almost gets the supply drop zone as well. The nuke is ready to go, and ClouD just has to find the right target for where to drop it. It might be this army in the north. He might just try and delete Chris's army. He's going to try and do that with his own nuclear MiGs. Gets a big chunk of Chris's army, but not enough. Actually drops a bomb on one of those just random infantry. Misses the rocket buggy, but instead goes for it. The nuke in the south lands, it looks like, on the war factory of Khay, trying to slow down his production. He has diversified his base, split into the middle of the map and in the middle in the south. And it is just not enough nuking one base, not enough to stop Khay. Man, these nuke MiGs against GLA units, they're so fragile as long as they aren't the tanks. And, well, the nuke cannon does eventually go down. This RPG Trooper and Rebel just go into town. Khay managing to sneak a couple of random infantry units into the back door of his opponent and get some damage done. More mines getting dropped by ClouD. Khay trying to reform his front line. Khay trying to restart the offensive that he has against SpiritualMango, but ClouD is defending with nuke cannons. And general nuke cannons are quite deadly. Supply center gets taken down, maybe even by friendly fire. These nukes going golden as they have gone heroic, some of them. They have killed off so many units and done so much damage for ClouD. The middle of the map has been taken over by Chris and Khay, but they have been unable to crack their opponents, and this is where having those super weapons is so important. Aurora's returning home. Khay has reformed his front line. Chris and Khay have to be close to running out of steam. Taking down these two expansions is a fantastic move for Chris. And it looks like the battle will return to the south. This bunker still has not been broken by Khay. Aurora is going to get another bomb off. The reverse move is good enough to save all but one of the quads. It's going to be the Marauder tanks that turn to the north. Mass MiGs are ready and waiting for ClouD. He also has 3.5 minutes left. Anthrax bomb coming in. EMP lands. Anthrax on the Auroras, but they're off the deck. They head north looking for greener pastures and a new home. Nuclear MiG staying off the deck. Arty Strike comes in, finds a couple of targets, gets the supply center, doesn't get the truck though. Nuclear missile is getting added on. Scud Storm has been added by Chris. What the? One engineer? How did this one engineer sneak through from Chris? No, it is not meant to be. That was maybe overkill, but worth it, as it turns out. That Anthrax still doing a bit of damage here and there. And this is the first time we have actually run into something resembling a stalemate in one of these games between these four players. It has been just so overwhelmingly aggressive. Ooh, doesn't quite get it. That nuclear cannon does survive, and the... Oh, one last shot! One last Molotov cocktail takes it down. And there we go, Khay with his own Scud Storm as well before the second nuke finishes up. Nuclear MiGs, a couple of them going down, a couple of them surviving. Khay is definitely like the single player with the biggest reach. Aurora Bombers thin out the herd, and now it's up to the Humvees, but as soon as they commit to the attack, they get overwhelmed by sheer numbers. 1 minute 45 on the nuke. And then it's Chris and Khay's turn to unleash their own super weapons and to break open the front door of their opponent. ECMs are here. Nuclear MiGs clean up a full line of Marauders. And is that enough? The answer seems to be yes. The Manticores are not going to be much of a follow-up. There's only a couple of them left, and a couple of them are on fire as well. Looks like a cluster mine going to be getting added on top of Khay's forces. If it lands. Looks like it won't. Nuclear cannons positioned all around by ClouD. Landing massive, massive shots. Even that Scud kind of doing a bit of friendly fire there. Chris and Khay on the cusp of breaking through to be able to deal that critical damage, that damage to the infrastructure of their opponents, and it just has not worked. This one lone Humvee eventually goes down, almost gets another Scud, but doesn't quite manage. I don't know, maybe that was maybe he was trying to drop an EMP before, but whatever it was, it didn't quite work out. Nuke Cannon does survive once again. These quads won't survive. RPG troopers going to be distracting these rocket buggies. I guess these are actually missile defenders, but hey, who cares? Nuclear MiGs in the north continuing to hold off Chris's entire army. I mean, he gets quads. He gets units to potentially deal with the MiGs. That quad doesn't need to chase that. He might need to take that expansion in the north. Big chunk of Khay's buildings get deleted there. Maybe some units too. Overlord's moving forward. Sneak attack tunnel might be able to escape. Note the nuclear MiGs try to take care of that. The Scuds get cleaned up, but the Overlord does as well. And now that the first nuke has gone off, well, this sneak attack is actually going to get shut down before it even gets a chance to start. The EMP Patriot right on top of it. But now the Scuds are going to be ready in a little over a minute. Particle Cannon will be after that. And that next nuke as well. So basically, Chris and Khay, it feels like they've got one last chance to potentially win the game. And then after that, I think ClouD and SpiritualMango are going to be able to break through. All right. Chris has a fresh army, making some mistakes like running buggies and units directly over the minefield, clearing it out the manual way. That's one way to do it. Once again, Khay brings an army to the door of SpiritualMango, and basically all aircraft just thin it out so much that it is all but gone by the time it actually gets to the front door. Fuel Air Bomb and Arty Strike clear up the expansion in the south. ClouD and SpiritualMango playing as a team as Chris is looking to open the front door. He's got a Scud Storm ready to go as well. Nuclear MiGs clean up some of the Manticores, but is it going to be enough? The pure numbers might be able to break through as the Scud lands on the airfield, lands on the nuke as well, and it's low power mode for ClouD. His main base explodes as he brings his nuke cannons in from the south. Chris so close to breaking through. Chris so close to defeating ClouD, but is it going to be enough? A second airfield in the north as the Manticores slow to attack the internet center, allowing the MiGs an opportunity to refuel once again. They get another shot up, another quad survives the first burst, the first blast, and another GAT joins the fray, but it's going to be the reinforcements from the south which win the day. The Scud Storms were not timed together, and we'll see what Khay is able to do with his. He's ready to go. He's got a second Scud as well. Launches it. Is he going to be able to find the targets? Goes for the expansion in the north, goes for the particle cannon as well. The lack of Air Force has never been more apparent than perhaps in this GLA versus a USA and a China. Both teams, which in this case have had extremely active, extremely powerful Air Forces. And, well, A-10 Warthog strike comes in, carpet bomb as well on top of the original supply center there. Going to thin out those trucks. The nuke does go down. ClouD's original nuke gets eliminated. His second one is ready to go in a little under a minute. Khay is trying to open up the front door. It feels like these attacks just haven't worked. They've always been beaten back. But maybe this time they'll be able to just get in. That nuke cannon. This is like impossible to beat without Air Force, it feels like. These nuke cannon positions have been so good from ClouD, so unbelievably cost effective. Just, you know, feels like hundreds of kills on these nuke cannons. And slowly but surely, Khay might be making a bit of headway. If you can get the rocket buggies close, then he can take out the nuke cannons. But the combo of GATs and EMP, goodbye rocket buggies. Another shot like that might just end this offensive. The Scuds don't find their mark. The nukes do. ClouD finding his opportunity. Lands once again in the main base of Khay. Particle cannons are ready as well. First one fires off in the main base of Chris. Second one is ready to go. Third gets added on. And the damage continues, the carnage continues as Chris's war factories get obliterated. He's got one war factory left. His original two supply depots, his original two supply centers go down. The middle of the map is slowly being taken over by ClouD. Chris and Khay with such an opportunity to take this game. Well, 3 Scud Storms, 4 Scud Storms total is still quite an opportunity. Another Anthrax bomb coming in, lands in the middle of the map. ClouD has already mostly evacuated. Sneak attack tunnel. Maybe it'll actually get up this time. Nukes show up. Big splash. Big splash, but not much to show for it. One Scorpion survives the initial burst. And we are down to 45 seconds on the Scud Storms. Moving in. The nuke cannon goes down. The nuclear MiGs doing a bit of splash damage. Friendly fire, blue on blue. as the Firestorm lands on the bridge. A couple of units do manage to cross it. Khay is not having as much luck breaking in the south. The refuel is going to be what saves ClouD once again. Oh, once again, Chris inches away, it feels like, from victory and unable to break open ClouD. So close, but never able to seal the deal. Arty strike on a war factory in Khay's main base. SpiritualMango managing to come out of his base for almost the first time, it feels like, in 20 minutes or so. He's in the middle of the map. Khay and Chris have run out of steam. Fuel air bomb gets called in by ClouD. Or not fuel air bomb, carpet bomb. Wrong nation. Doesn't delete the supply stash, but gets a tank and maybe a truck. The defense has held once again, time and time again. An Anthrax bomb lands, or maybe a Scud. Yeah, Scud lands on the command center in the east. RPG troopers and Marauder tanks versus a little bit of defense here from SpiritualMango. Ooh, those nuclear MiGs just erasing everything. Moab cleans up the last of that supply center, but not the arms dealer, as the minimap just completely explodes with action. Some of these super weapons are getting very close to being able to fire off once again. Overlords making their way forward. Chris and Khay, they have been losing control of the middle of the map for minutes now, and it is almost complete. The support powers and the super weapons have been a huge addition. Anthrax on top of the supply trucks will claim all 4 of them, it looks like, slowing down the income of SpiritualMango. But ClouD has just been able to produce so many Overlord tanks. Again, it feels like the brunt of the defense from ClouD has been those nuke cannons, which have just been phenomenal for him. All right, 5 seconds on one Scud, 10 seconds on another Scud. Where is Khay going to use them? It might be to try and clean up this army. Stopping ClouD here in the middle of the map might be the target number 1. Overlord's pushing forward. 1 Scud gets used. Looks like it's in the main base. Maybe taking the power offline. Yeah, slowing down ClouD and SpiritualMango if he can. Double Scud on top of the nuke removes it from the equation. ClouD no longer has a super weapon. He just has these 2 guns. These Overlords absolutely shredding everything in their path. Particle cannons are ready to go, 2 of them at once. And it looks like SpiritualMango is going to be winning the game alongside his friend ClouD, if they can just stop these last couple of things from going wrong. MiGs in close proximity, double or triple power plant getting added on. Ooh, MiGs barely able to clean up those rebels, trying to keep that ion cannon alive. That particle cannon alive, same thing. ClouD moving forward. He may have finally done it. No super weapon, but the only guy with a ground army left. MiGs fall out of the sky. ClouD's superior air force, which has been dominant for basically this entire game, has maybe finally been silenced. Nuclear nuke cannon not quite going to go down to those buggies, those rocket buggies. Finds the windmills. Okay, not able to break into Chris's base. ClouD, excuse me, not able to break into Chris's base. Overlord's circling through the middle of the map. He backs off of Chris's front door and just goes somewhere else. Where are these MiGs going? Oh, they're chasing down these rocket buggies. Gets them both. Warthog and it looks like a carpet bomb and maybe a Moab all coming in at the same time. SpiritualMango looking to end this command center maybe. Not quite able to do it. Find the weak one and open the door. These Scud Storms are in low power mode as ClouD walks through the front door. Chris maybe a little too late to help out Khay. War factories will go down. The Palace gets eliminated. The EMP keeps the lockdown continuing. As the black market goes down, the Palace will be next. And finally, ClouD has broken in. The Anthrax slowing the reinforcements, stopping those nuke cannons. But it's not going to stop the army. Maybe a mine drop or something coming in here. Yeah, ClouD drops the mines and the GG gets called. Our first game, it feels like, to go beyond 10 minutes goes the distance. SpiritualMango and ClouD finding the win in the end. Khay and Chris not able to make it happen. So close. What a crazy back and forth that turned into. Bit of a stalemate in the middle, but that GLA double team almost worked out for Chris and Khay. Well, the momentum has swung into ClouD and SpiritualMango's favor. Let's see if they can keep it going in game number 6. And that sends us back to Tournament Island for game number 6. Potentially another game to tie up the series and to prove that these guys are not just one-time Charlies. In the top left-hand corner, playing as the green China Nuke, this is Khay. And for the first time in these two series, with a north-south split, we have as the US Air, playing red, this is Chris. Meanwhile, on the southern half of the map, going for a barracks rush as the blue US Super Weapons General, this is ClouD. And rounding out these 4 players as the GLA demo, this is SpiritualMango. Playing purple. The colors have at least remained consistent past the first couple of minutes. USA Super Weapon is getting a bit of an EMP taste from, US Air is getting a bit of an EMP taste from ClouD, who's got that EMP Patriot, and he is looking for the early kill right away. Now, Khay grabbed both of the oil derricks in the middle of the map. That's fantastic for him, but he has not grabbed his own oil derricks at the back of his base, but ClouD is also missing that on account of this barracks rush that he is going for. One of the things about Tournament Island is you are so incredibly close to your opponents that things like a barracks can get deployed this far forward. That is pretty crazy that he was able to sneak it out that far into his enemy's build radius. But at the same time, I think we're seeing Tournament Island because they've just simply run out of 2v2 maps, and so now we're into the repeat zone. GAT does go down. Maybe it was able to take out a couple of tank hunters, or RPG troopers or something. USA Spy Drone going to be getting cleaned up there, so ClouD doesn't have vision there in the middle of the map anymore. Supply truck does go down. The GAT does get eliminated. The supply truck is going to be getting back to work. Only one supply truck going down, and that EMP Patriot is so frustrating to deal with early game, really setting Chris back. Now, Chris, is he going to be going as air heavy as ClouD was? Because ClouD, the first game he was playing on Tournament Island, he played US Air, and he did a huge amount of damage with those King Raptors, just absolutely overwhelming his opponents various times with those Raptors. And one random Battlemaster has snuck through. It looks like he cleaned up a power plant or something. I'm not sure what the low power mode was from. Maybe ClouD just overstayed his welcome there. But at any rate, it looks like one of the ore refineries may have gone down. One of the supply docks got eliminated. Some of the supply trucks getting killed off, it seems. And those supply centers put ClouD a pretty far distance behind everyone else, who's sitting at 3 supply centers, 2 oil derricks. He's only got 1 supply center. Sentry Drone does get out, Good control there by ClouD, backing it away from the infantry just in time, cleaning up huge numbers of those Rangers and trying desperately to have his own Rangers survive so that he can clean up the missile defenders one by one. Stinger Sight is out. Unfortunately for Khay, his dumb mining truck is going for the bug mode, which is where you harvest from someone else's or supply dock. And it's just one of those things that is the unfortunate side of this being a total conversion mod. A couple of Scorpion tanks moving their way through the middle of the map. Khay is going to have to deal with this sooner or later. But for now, SpiritualMango is getting an opportunity to, I think, take back the middle of the map, maybe take those oil derricks. All right, the first King Raptor strike is here. There we go. Chris is starting to bring the pain. A little bit of harassment. I love this from Khay. Khay crossing the map to the bottom right-hand corner, going cross-map to go for the harassment of ClouD. Nuclear Battlemaster going for the crush, and the GAT is going to fight it out with these two sentry drones. The technical is going to come in to support. SpiritualMango is going to help get the kill on the GAT and get the kill not on the Nuclear Battlemaster. That guy just stopped because the target died, I guess, and not because he died himself. Technical is here still. That supply dock has not been established. ClouD has been weak on the economy pretty much this entire time. King Raptors coming in for another pass. They're going to be able to clean up one supply truck. Damages the second. A little bit of splash there, but not enough to take down that supply truck. Strategy Center is getting added on, but this is a great start for Chris. Maybe not good enough. We'll see as SpiritualMango is moving out. Buildings have been garrisoned. This will buy a couple of extra seconds for Chris. Maybe 10 or 15 seconds. This is actually taking him a while to chew through these buildings, so this is great for Chris. He started up a fresh base defense, a barracks as well, right on the front line. His King Raptors got off the ground, and it looks like he's going to be able to execute 2 bombing runs there. A couple of flak tanks are here. One of them has already been cleaned up. The other 2 are still present, and it looks like finally that Nuclear Battlemaster did go down. ClouD is starting to break out of his shackles. He's starting to actually be active out on the map, but this is not going to be enough. The cluster mine is a little bit too late there, and going for the guys on the deck. These Scorpion tanks trying to hunt down these King Raptors when they can't fight back. It's going to be the Warthogs that get the kill there, but no, just barely not. It's going to be the Humvees that actually do the damage. Khay even going to be dropping down a War Factory in Chris's base to try and help with all of the damage that Chris is sustaining. More and more base defenses getting added on, but it's too little, too late, as these Humvees are going to be finding their mark, finding the damage in the back of the base of Chris, striking out at the same time. It's going to be a big firestorm on top of these GLA units. Those Inferno cannons getting some good shots off, but it may not be enough to stop the advance of SpiritualMango. Looks like the oil derrick going to be going down in the back of Chris's base. The Humvees doing their work and finding the damage, but is it going to be enough? Because the infantry are starting to close in. They have not gotten the kill on the Humvees. Those base defenses kind of putting Chris in a bad spot, putting him in low power mode, so his reactions are even slower than they would normally be. Oil derrick does survive. Humvees do not, but the missile defenders get the kill anyways, and the mass infantry follow-up is going to be what tries to keep Chris safe. Another bugged supply truck, the unfortunate side of trying to take the Red Alert 3 economy and change it over to something else when you are just a modder and you're not a game dev, so you don't have access to change the same, depth of the code as the developers do. The modders are sort of just working within a system. Kills one of those supply trucks there. That was a nice call in there by Chris. Managed to get a kill on a supply truck, damaged the supply center as well. Oil derricks surviving for everyone except Chris. Could be a bit of a problem, but for now, Chris is in an okay position. He's got a bunch of sentry drones, a bunch of missile defenders, a couple of rangers, I think, as well. But the GATs are potentially going to be backing this up. Of course, infantry doing very well against the Patriot EMP in the middle of the map. SpiritualMango is going to be moving in to reinforce ClouD, so ClouD is not alone. This is a 2v2 after all. Flak tanks showing up in good numbers, and they're going to cut through these missile defenders. 1-2 volleys to kill off 2 flak tanks, and the third flak tank goes down as these Scorpions filter in. It's going to be the end of Chris's attack, but that was pretty costly. Those flak tanks did take a decent number of shots from the infantry of Chris. Black Napalm has been purchased, so that Firestorm is going to be that much more powerful. And goodbye, Scorpion. that is a good tool to hold off the army of SpiritualMango. Airfield is back up. Chris, he lost one airfield, but he is bouncing back. If he could get it back up to 4 Raptors, maybe even 8 Raptors, that would be phenomenal. Inferno Cannons, I think, were trying to go for the kill on that Stinger site. They did not manage to get the kill. Inferno Cannon's going to be backing off. One Inferno Cannon is left. Rocket Buggy's going to find the kill. Nice and easy. Well done by SpiritualMango. Finds the kill on that Inferno Cannon, and the bugs do keep coming. Something about this map seems to make the ore collectors a little bit worse. ClouD with a bunch of Humvees in the middle of the map. He's going to try and work his way past the defenses. A couple of buildings are going to cut down on these Humvee numbers. No, only a single Humvee, it seems, going down with the help of that King Raptor. And now Khay has a problem in the back of his base. Bunch of Humvees going to be shooting up his face, taking down his supply trucks, taking down his internet centers. At the same time, SpiritualMango going to be moving into the middle of the map, and it's going to be Chris moving in with reinforcements to try and help Khay kick these Humvees out of his base. I think the propaganda center and one of the internet centers, no, the internet center did actually survive, but the oil derricks will not survive. The Humvees are also going to die in this base, and maybe one oil derrick does survive. This does open up an opportunity for ClouD and SpiritualMango. No, they were not able to move through the middle of the map. A couple of GATs are here. Support power called in, maybe a cluster mine, maybe an EMP on top of this army. It's going to be the cluster mine. Won't catch much. One single RPG trooper. Laser's going to be zapping those rockets away, and there is going to be the fuel air bomb. A perfect hit there from ClouD. A magnificent amount of splash damage washing over Khay and Chris. Patriot is here. Humvee's getting eaten up, but the King Raptors don't have enough missiles. Not enough King Raptors, and those rockets going to be able to zap away some of those missile defender rockets from those Humvees. Sentry drones moving in. King Raptors coming in for a second pass, able to clean up pretty much all of the Humvees. Maybe one Humvee escapes. Alpha Aurora is just waiting by the splash damage from that fuel air bomb. It can miss big. No worries about that. It can absolutely miss. Flak tank gets shut down. ECM going to be deflecting those rockets. Meanwhile, tank hunters finding a couple of marks here, but not a ton of damage. Oil derricks in the middle of the map have been cleaned up. Chris now moving into the middle of the map, hoping to cut off the reinforcements from ClouD. Sentry drone's going to be jumping on top of the infantry. Khay garrisons up one of the buildings, going to be absorbing some of the shots there, and the fuel air bomb completely whiffs. A big miss there. The army too active, paying too much attention. The nuke cannon finds its damage against the rocket buggies, and this is a proper back and forth. Looks like maybe a sentry spy drone gets taken out there over the base of ClouD. Chris, no real strikes against ClouD. It would be great if he could swing around the backside, take out the airfield, or take out these oil derricks. He is definitely playing a bit more defensive with these Raptors. Sniping units winning where he can. Those rocket buggies somewhat nullified by the ECMs, but the Inferno cannons also need to be defended. Khay literally just trying to patrol back and forth with his ECMs to defend everything, even though he doesn't quite have enough ECMs to make it happen. A couple of Infernos going down. Rocket buggies trying to stay active. Chris posturing on the east side of the island. ClouD unable to maybe hold him off by himself, so SpiritualMango is joining the fight. It's low power mode for for ClouD. Oil derricks still standing for ClouD and SpiritualMango. It looks like a fuel air bomb catches those sentry drones. And it looks like SpiritualMango and ClouD are going to try and double team Chris. Decent number of GATs all throughout the base of Chris. This is a lot of helpful defense from our China player. All right, fuel air bomb in the middle of the infantry, cleans up a big clump of them, and Humvees are going to go up the right side. Can they find the power plant? No, they're getting absolutely shredded. Not a single eject there, or maybe just one eject right at the end there, but ClouD gets eviscerated. Another bug ends the life of that supply truck. 3 minutes 20 on ClouD's particle cannon. He is the super weapons general, and he's finally getting around to it, but 6 minutes on the clock of the nuke of Khay. Another particle cannon getting added by ClouD. This is where those Raptors, if they can hit the power plants of ClouD, delay those particle cannons at all, that would be huge. There's the spy drone getting immediately eliminated. Gets you vision for maybe a couple of seconds before ClouD kills it off with his many, many Patriots. ECM deflecting most of the rockets. A couple of them getting through and hitting. Ooh, big firestorm. Double nuke has finished before the double particle cannon, but the double particle cannon will fire off first, which means you can fire off the particle cannons, you can kill off at least one of the nukes and completely negate it. Maybe an EMP. No, it's going to be a cluster mine drop on top of that area there. Firestorm, unfortunately. Ooh, fuel air bomb finds at least one Inferno cannon there. Maybe a second as well. Mine's going to be clipping some of these Scorps. That particle cannon is... Okay, now it's online. Just as I was thinking, it was taking a little while too long. 3 internet centers getting added on. Warthogs will maybe clear the buildings. Oh, that's a good catch there. Clears out one of the buildings, cuts down some of the infrastructure there. Nuke cannon, I think, finding its mark. No, maybe a MiG instead. Chris has pulled all of his defenses off to the side. The Anthrax has landed in his base, courtesy of SpiritualMango. Double particle cannon versus double nuke. No one else has anything. Couple of Paladins moving their way in. It's going to be the mother of all bombs right in the middle there. Catches the big damage on the army. And I don't even know what that must have been a Moab as well. And Chris comes in with the sentry drones trying to eliminate these Paladins. And the Paladins wasting their time shooting the power plants. We'll find out if it's wasting their time or not. But they're at least getting blocked here. MiGs swinging in. Support power called in on top of the area. Firestorm ignites, gets the flak tanks as they try and respond. The Paladins going deep into enemy territory. ClouD's attack has thinned out, but it's not done just yet. Sentry drone's going to be able to overwhelm these Paladins eventually, taking them down. One more Paladin walks its way into the waiting arms of a nuclear overlord, cleans up that Paladin without too much trouble. And the attack is not done, but the attack has been held off. It's going to be up to the super weapons to actually get the damage in this match. The low power mode of ClouD seems to be causing him some real problems. Particle cannon is getting added on, another supply drop zone. He's probably going to go into low power mode again. We'll see. Maybe he's got enough upgraded power plants. Alpha Aurora lands a fuel air bomb. Chris's Warthogs looking for the damage. They're going for the black markets. Gonna get both of them. 2 black markets down. A good move there by Chris. Second airfield, so 1 with Raptors and 1 with Auroras. Third nuke getting added on for Khay. He's low on cash. Particle cannon is gonna find the airfield. Gets the supply center as well. The war factory is third, and the other supply center is fourth. Cuts down on the income of Chris. 3 particle cannons, 3 nukes. That is going to be the lineup. And it's going to be the surprise of the terrorists going to be dropping into the back of the base, and they're going for the kill on the nuke. Not quite going to be able to find it. Unfortunately. Oh, they will! The demo terrorists igniting, and they will die. The demo rebel surprise. A powerful super weapon in its own right. Fuel air bomb misses the first strike, gets the second one. 4 or 5 sentries find their end. As the Paladins are holding the front line, ClouD may be able to break through the front door. 45 seconds on the next particle cannon. With 1 nuke eliminated, it looks like SpiritualMango and Chris have decided that, SpiritualMango and ClouD have decided Chris is the place to try and break. Man, those nuke MiGs. The explosion every single time is just massive. The entire army has pretty much been wiped out by air superiority, which I think that's actually, you know, accurate in real life as well. Artillery and air power just sort of do a lot of the work for modern warfare. Stinger sight still standing strong on the left side of the map. A couple of seconds until the next particle cannon. power plants or supply drop zones, both potential targets. But it's going to be the left side of the map. It's going to be the internet centers, 3 of them. 3 internet centers and at least 2 power plants. A big hit there for that particle cannon. Nuclear MiGs trying to eliminate the workers, trying to eliminate the supply trucks. Another stinger site? No, it's going to be a tunnel network getting added on by Khay. King Raptors find their damage. The moving in. 1 King Raptor going down, but the nuke MiGs may finish the job. And the splash over, the damage over time there. Ooh. Alpha Aurora goes down. The fuel air bomb catching not as much. ClouD into the middle of the map. He has got a lot of missile defenders. They've got the laser lock mode. King Raptor gonna catch a good bit of damage on the Paladin. Not enough to kill it off. All right, the MiGs clean up most of the missile defenders, and it's gonna be up to the sentry drones to do the rest. So many sentry drones that they actually just overwhelm the bigger, slower firing tanks. Another firestorm coming in. Is it actually going to land, though? The MiGs don't quite make it. They do land a couple of shots there, enough to take down 2 of those. Ooh, forces the sell-off of the particle cannon, actually. And the nuke lands on the left side, starting to work through the base of SpiritualMango. He's lost all of his war factories. He's got a barracks, and that's pretty much it. He's lost pretty much all of his war factories, and Chris is going to be cleaning up the flak tanks in the middle of the map. This might be a real opportunity for Khay and Chris to actually step forward and take this game. After losing the first series 5-0, going toe-to-toe in the second series, hit for hit, this is an opportunity for them to even up the score 3-3. Once again, the Paladin goes down, the Humvee goes down, second Paladin, second Humvee going down. Those King Raptors doing immense work for Chris. He's found so much damage with them. Nuclear MiGs find the damage at the back of the base. Going to be taking down, I don't even know what, the radar van and something else, doing a bit of damage against the particle cannon. And ClouD has just about run out of steam. SpiritualMango calling in. Once again, the Rebel surprise, and these are demo Rebels. So, they're going for the airfield also. They're going to get the kill on perhaps both. Carpet bomb coming in. On top of the particle cannon, on top of the oil derricks. It won't be enough to clean up the particle cannon, but the artillery strike will do it, and that's the kill on the last particle cannon. There are 2 nukes left, maybe soon to be 1 nuke, as there's the sell-off, and the airfield is going to be the home of these Raptors for not much longer. Those demo Rebels will get it on the exit. No, barely! There were slightly too many Rebels over on the left, and instead of cleaning up, oh, the Moab's going to get the oil derricks. Instead of cleaning up that airfield, okay, no, never mind. It ended up going down anyways, I think to a Moab or a fuel air bomb or something. Airfield gets restarted, nuclear missile gets restarted, and there is nothing left on the tab. The support powers have taken care of everything. Black Market withstands another shot. MiG almost going down. The cycle of MiGs from Khay has almost been enough to break the economy. Firing in the middle will get 1 truck. The second truck dodges to the side. Dodges to the left, not wanting to go down. Fuel air bomb is ready. He's going to find it. Boom! As almost everything goes down. 3 sentry drones. This game going to the limits of what a normal match would be. This is my favorite super weapon there. Perhaps a little bit of a glitch. Nuclear missile gets added on right around all of these Gatling cannons. Avenger goes down. Paladins go down. 3 Paladins eliminated, but it's going to be the carpet bomb on top of all of the base defenses. And there it'll find the propaganda center, or the propaganda tower, and a bit of damage on the Gatling cannon, but not enough to break the front door, not enough to break the front line of Chris. Chris's defense has been standing strong, and I feel like Chris and Khay really need to focus on breaking SpiritualMango because he is close to being broken. Firebase. You need a lot of King Raptors to break a Patriot missile system, apparently. Garrisoning up these buildings has been one of the best adjustments that Chris and Kay have made. They have been more consistent and more strategic about garrisoning up those structures. Fuel air bomb is a big miss on that one. MiG's coming in. Can he break both? Oh no, he's going to be going for the supply trucks. He's going to get the supply stash. The truck will get pulled off. The palace has been rebuilt. It's going to take a lot of buildings to break that palace, or a lot of MiGs is what I wanted to say. Sentry drones are moving in. ClouD may be the weak one because he has been defeated, leaving everything to SpiritualMango, who's got an amazing amount of infrastructure, but does he actually have the APM to hold off attacks on both sides of the map from Chris and from Kay? SpiritualMango is going to make them work for it, I think. Once again, a last Guardian tank emerges from that war factory, and the production of ClouD's old base has been shut down. He's got like maybe a barracks over there. He's got the strategy center. War factory is trying to get reestablished, but they're going for the economy and the power plants to really slow down SpiritualMango rather than ClouD. Nuclear missiles are back online. 3 minutes until the particle cannon, and that's just an empty overlay there. Chris has done it. He broke the front door wide open. The Inferno cannons are not even going to mess with the palace, apparently. They're just going to be going for the Stinger site. Warthogs glitching in for just a moment. It's going to be the fuel air bomb and the Warthogs in tandem, and they are going to be going for the war factory, going for the infrastructure, and that's the big finish. The carpet bomb on top of it, and Chris cutting through the infrastructure. It's going to be a Comanche to save the day, but what good does a Comanche do you when you've lost basically everything else? Upgraded power plant going to get absolutely shredded. SpiritualMango forced to sell basically everything off. Not even the Comanche will save him. The particle cannon goes down, and it is just overwhelming firepower. Slow and steady gets the 3-3, evens up the score. Chris and Kay keep their hopes alive in this best of 9. The rematch is here, and they are ready for revenge. What an amazing comeback they have mounted. Down 0-5 in the last series, and absolutely proving their worth here in the second series. They're going to burn it all down, building by building, inch by inch. Goodbye, SpiritualMango. Goodbye, ClouD. The score is 3-3. Chris and Kay are in the strike zone. Now, you do need 5 wins in a best of 9, but 3-3 is a whole lot closer than 0-5. Let's see what happens in game number 7, which takes us back to Canyon City for game number 7. On the left side, spawning as the blue GLA demo, this is ClouD. As in the north, as the purple China nuke, this is SpiritualMango. As the red, this, as the China infantry, is Chris. And as the green GLA talks, this is Kay. Kay and Chris coming through in big fashion in that last game. Game number 5, they were so close on, what is that, like Liberation City or whatever that map is, the big city one. They were so close, and it felt like they had a good rhythm. They never got the lead on the super weapons, and that's where the late game... Okay, all right. I see you, China tank. China nuke. Not China tank, China nuke, which is why this one Battlemaster parade push, spread them out, don't let them get close to each other, but harass, can be so powerful. Bunker is here, only one tank hunter, it seems, inside of it. Second tank hunter is there. Perfect by Chris. Game number 5, they were looking so good, they were looking so nice. Look at this, mini gunners inside of that, tagging the nuclear Battlemaster as it goes to the north. They were looking so good, but they never got the lead on those super weapons. Oh, this is great from ClouD. That is a dunking on the enemy kind of a move. Is that truck bugged? Okay, for a second I thought that truck might have been going off on its own. Goodbye, Technical. Going to be ejecting out now. ClouD not quite getting a kill on an additional Technical. All right, another Battle Master goes down. Chris slams that X key to split those minigunners into every direction. That guy has seen some stuff. My gosh, that guy has seen some stuff. All right, I love this from SpiritualMango. Finds the damage by attacking the back of the tank line. And unfortunately, all of those minigunners might just go down. And, well, those minigunners are also going to go down. And the Nuclear Battle Masters just don't stop coming. But enough tank hunters has finally gotten into that bunker to actually hold them off more quickly. Now, this is great for Chris. If he can get the kill on a couple of these clumped up Nuclear Battle Masters, that'll be good for him. He doesn't have anything out on the front line, so it's going to be up to ClouD, actually, who's going to be joining the fight here with his technicals. He is going to be pressuring Chris, and this is the double team. This is the rush kind of stuff that won them the first series. 5-0. Khay is too slow late as he crosses the map, and he's going to get jumped on by the technicals of ClouD. Any ejects would be good. A couple of RPG troopers are here, and these Nuclear Battle Masters can kill each other off, but the damage may have been done. Chris's economy is getting smoked as these Nuclear Battle Masters split themselves up between several targets. It may be enough. It may be just enough damage on the defense side to hold off these Nuclear Battle Masters without sustaining too much damage. The Oil Derricks would really help Chris out here. But it looks like the only Oil Derricks on the map were taken by ClouD and SpiritualMango. So unfortunately, this SpiritualMango will keep on pumping out the smoothies, and there is nothing that Chris can do to stop it. He's trying to get another barracks up. He's trying to get, I guess, more tank hunters out onto the field, but this is just not working anymore. There was a slim window where it actually was starting to work. The defense was holding. Chris has lost, I think, too many trucks. He gets out a Taskmaster, so that's nice, but he stops one tank, stops the second tank. He does, but he's going to lose a lot of health on that Taskmaster. Second Taskmaster emerged. Fortunately, these bunkers are like, you can kill an infinite number of Nuclear Battle Masters with these bunkers. I don't know if the solution would have been to place the bunker a little bit further forward, get the barracks out, and maybe just get out more tank hunters. Reinforcements coming in from the Khay side of the map. Khay is still keeping a force active, a force of technicals active on his side of the map. RD Strike gets called in. Not sure who called it in. Very well could be SpiritualMango calling it in on Chris. Ooh, it's going to be a mine drop as well, perhaps. Yeah, mine drop on top of Chris. RD Strike must have landed somewhere else. Nuclear Battle Masters has been cleaned up. The War Factory was the price that Chris paid. Scorpion tanks crossing the map. The technicals are in the back. They're getting jumped on. Only one supply truck, it seems like, may have gone down. No, it looks like ClouD kept everything alive. He's got all 4 supply trucks there. Scorpion tanks are going to find the expansion. They shut down that supply truck as it looks like Khay is going to be losing that eco just outside of his base. He is going to be losing that income. And a couple of Rebels did manage to sneak out 4K, but it's not going to be enough. The Nuclear Battle Master push just keeps coming. I mean, SpiritualMango really has no reason to stop. He has the expansion down on the low ground. He has the double Oil Derrick as well. The War Factory is coming back in, but this feels like the game has already been decided. It needs truly amazing defense. Okay, RD Strike comes in on the supply truck, so that must have been what Chris was using his RD Strike for. But Chris needs like a truly amazing defense, and on top of that, he also needs to, I don't know, like shut down the expansion of ClouD and SpiritualMango. Taking down the Oil Derricks would be nice, or recapturing them. But now Khay is getting double teamed. Whole bunch of technicals are here from ClouD, and he can chase down the rocket buggies to actually kill them off. They can't keep running forever. And SpiritualMango has the Nuclear Battle Masters walking up the hill, trying to get the kills. And these technicals, they can trade out against the rocket buggies all day long as they do kill the rocket buggies. That's pretty much fine for ClouD. He's keeping up the pressure. The Stinger sights are buying a lot of time for Khay. but I don't think it'll be enough. The nuke cannon is here. The minigunners are almost going to get the kill on the nuke cannon, but just not enough damage. The war factory is going to go down, and Khay has been broken. They broke Chris first, and then they let off on Chris so that they could attack Khay. The securing of the oil derricks and the holding on of those low ground expansions while taking the economy from your opponent is what wins it for Chris, or for ClouD and SpiritualMango. They cannot be stopped. It's going to be 4-3. They're going to be on match point again in this best of 9. 4-3 is so much of a better score for Chris and Khay. Khay has been defeated. Chris might just let this one ride out, you know, make him work for it, as SpiritualMango does. Nuclear Battle Master's just overwhelming everything that Chris has. Technically not, but the reinforcements are still coming in, so Chris holds off that one wave, but it's not going to be enough. And, hey, I mean, these tank hunters are doing good damage, but is not going to stop the overwhelming tidal wave, which is coming for Chris. GG gets called. The 4-3 is complete. Khay and Chris take another L as ClouD and SpiritualMango get within striking distance of the end. And that takes us back to Lone Eagle for the make or break point. There are no more mistakes because the team in the north is on match point. As the GLA Demo General, this is SpiritualMango. As the blue US Air, get ready for it, boys. This is ClouD. His King Raptors are just too good on the south side, playing as the green vanilla GLA. This is Khay. And as the red US Laser, this is Chris. All right. It is a short rush distance map, and Chris and Khay, they have had some trouble with the rushes, and they have no more opportunities to make mistakes. Patriot Missile is going to be coming up. One supply into airfield, but he got the barracks, and he got the double oil derrick in the back. Once again, look at this. Every, how many seconds is it? Is it like every 3 seconds? What is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? 10 seconds? Is it 10 seconds? It must be. Yeah, so every 10 seconds that ticks by, it's 400 credits into the pocket of ClouD and not into the pocket of anyone else. Oh my gosh, he's going for a stinger sight in the middle of ClouD's base. A tunnel network and a stinger sight. ClouD is going to be going for a couple of missile defenders to try and cut this off. Fortunately, those King Raptors are so good with the lasers. It's not quite enough to totally hold this off. SpiritualMango is going to have to come in with a couple of technicals of his own. The tunnel network gets up, but the stinger sight does not. Khay with another reinforcement. Chris is starting to cross the map, but he's a long way away. And it's going to be up to these Scorpions. The King Raptors are still trying to put out that damage, just up and down, up and down. One of those Scorpions not quite going heroic. It's going to be the technicals that go heroic. Another one going double that, and Chris is moments too late. Fortunately, he does have those lasers. He takes out the King Raptor. No! No, Chris and Khay, their last life on the line. If Chris would have been 20 seconds earlier with those laser Humvees, they probably would have had it. Even if they wouldn't have had it, they probably would have had a much better chance. Once again, every second that goes by, look at this. Triple airfield. One supply, triple airfield. SpiritualMango has taken both of the other supplies in the back of the base, and this is where SpiritualMango is on 4 supply, no oil derricks. But ClouD is on 1 supply, triple airfield, and the game isn't over technically. What could they do? They could drive to ClouD's house. and unplug his network cable. They could drive to SpiritualMango's house and unplug his network cable. As always, you know, things aren't over until they're over. But, ooh, taking out that power plant. Yep, both power plants down. Goodbye, Laser General. Your lasers are cool. Oh, that's interesting. He should be low power mode. That laser Humvee is escaping the low power mode. I think that's a bit of a bug. If it spawns in after the low power mode has happened, but there hasn't been a change state with the power mode since, like another power plant has been built or something. Yeah, as soon as that power plant finished, that laser Humvee went offline, which means there is a bit of a bug where laser units can be built and be online. Well, he's lost so much infrastructure that he's actually going to be coming back online. The score is 4-3, and with one last chance, SpiritualMango and ClouD are choking the life out of Chris and Khay. Chris getting totally overwhelmed here, double teamed, and pretty much the supply depots, supply centers go down. ClouD with his mass air just striking down buildings, able to basically one-shot both supply stashes in one go from his two airfields way up there in the north. Fourth airfield is getting added on. ClouD is not taking any chances. He is not letting off the gas. Warthogs almost finding... Oh, actually, those A-10s wouldn't have actually killed off this whole group. They would have just gotten a couple of the tanks. Dang. Chris has been defeated. Well fought. The GG is going to be coming out relatively soon. Basically enough to one-shot a command center as well. I mean, the Warthog gets called in, but it's not actually necessary. Khay is holding out, I guess, as long as he can. I assume he might be, like, typing something in the chat, but that is it. Thanks for playing. Big thanks to Zero Below for putting up the money for the initial show match. Of course, this show match had no money for the prize, but ClouD and SpiritualMango come out ahead once again, 5-3. A brutal last game for Chris and Khay. 20 seconds away from making that attack work, making that early game pressure really stick, and possibly just completely crumbling ClouD in the early game. And it got turned around on them. An unfortunate end for Chris and Khay, but well fought indeed. Thank you all very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. What a phenomenal set of games to finish out this show match on. And this is Cybert, signing out.